All right, everybody, we'll get started with Coach Will Guillory. You can start us off.
Come on, Will.
Will Guillory, I see you. Let's go. Christian Clark, go ahead.
Hey, Stan, Christian Clark here with Null.com. After looking at the film a little bit, what were some of the things you saw offensively that were not working in the second half last night?
Well, listen, obviously the turnovers were a big problem, but what really happened is LA turned up the defensive pressure and really flattened us out. We just didn't do a good job against it. We had trouble executing any offense. But the things, and we said it after the game last night, I forget exactly who asked it, but it was both things going hand in hand, because we couldn't get any stops. We were facing a set defense against the best defensive team in the league. And because we couldn't score, we had a hard time getting our defense set, even though we did a pretty good job in transition. And it all just snowballed on us. If we could have made plays or made a stand at either end of the floor, we might have been able to stem the tide, but we couldn't. And I give the Lakers credit. Like, their defense was outstanding. They're long, they're active, and their pressure bothered us. I think that's an area where we have got to be a lot better, and I think we will be a lot better.
And just to quickly follow up on that, when teams do pressure you, how do you beat that? What does that look like? Is that just guys going past guys, or?
I think that's one of the steps, certainly, Christian. I think that, not letting people pressure you, and instead of trying to get to your spot to run an offense, make somebody pay for overextending their defense and go by them and make a play. So, yeah, I think that's certainly a big part of it.
Hey, what's up, Coach? My bad. This is Will from The Athletic. We've talked a lot this year about JJ's struggle shooting from three and Nicolo Melli as well. Just what can you do to get more from some of your best shooters on your team, just to spread the court a little bit more?
Well, it's two different cases. In JJ's case, I don't think our offense is creating quality looks for him. And so he's having to take a lot of tough shots. I think the times that, we have created good shots for him, he's delivered. With Nico, I don't know. I talked to him a little bit today. His looks are he's not getting a lot of them, which is which is one of the problems. It's hard to get into rhythm when you're playing limited minutes, and he only got 3 shots last night. But his looks are good looks. They're open looks. They're shots with time. He's just struggling knocking them down. And I think what I talked to him about today is I think it's become a little bit mental with him, and he's got to get over it. This is a veteran guy. He may only be his second year in the NBA, but he's a veteran guy that's played in a lot of big games. And you just got to overcome the slump and shoot the ball. No way he should have 2 air balls in a game.
Hey, Coach, it's Andrew from ESPN. We talked earlier this year about Nickeil feeling, I think, more comfortable as a 2 guard because of necessity. I think he's played a little bit more 1 the last 2 games. How do you think overall he's done in switching roles a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where Andrew, he has to get in his career. I think he's going to be a combo guy. The way the league is going anyway, you're not as big into positions. He's certainly a guy that you want to put the ball in his hands in pick and roll situations and things. But he had problems last night. I thought Schroeder's pressure bothered him. He had trouble getting us into offense. He's at his best just running pick and rolls, but when we're trying to do things for other guys, where he has to get us into offense, that's the challenge that he has to, overcome right now. And I think he will. He just hasn't had a ton of experience. Every time I start to get frustrated at some of these guys, and you just have to go back and say, okay, how many games as an NBA point guard has Nickeil played? How many games has Zion played? How many games has Kyra Lewis played? It just, some of it is simply growing pains. And certainly for Nikhil, that's where we are. And there's going to be ups and downs. His attitude is fabulous. He works at it. He wants to be good. He's got a lot of talent. Our job as a coaching staff, my job as a head coach is to get him there and help him realize his talent. He's willing to put in the time. There's no reason he shouldn't become a really good player.
Coach, kind of along those same lines, you spoke after the game last night about taking turnovers personally. As a coach, how do you encourage that or push players to take it personally, or is that really just on them to take it personally?
No, I mean, no, we talk to him about it all the time. Like I think you have to have an understanding as a team and as an individual of where your mistakes are coming, where your turnovers are coming, and eliminate those. And we've tried to do that with everybody. We try to do some very fundamental things. I don't think we do enough of simply jump stop and pivoting and putting the ball on target. I don't think we've done a great job of seeing defense. I mean, these are all things we need to do. And then part of it is teaching. You know, the one we threw away last night on we had set a flare screen for Brandon, and we ended up Montrezl Harrell sniffed it out, and we threw it. You know, that's just got to be teaching on our part, on my part, to what you should be looking at on those plays. It's similar to teaching a quarterback what your reads are, and we hadn't taught that with the young guards. We hadn't taught it, and so he was simply looking at Brandon, didn't see the defender. He's got to know what his reads are. That turnover's on me.
Hey, Stan, Christian Clark here again. There was I think a moment early in the second half when the Keel picked up that fifth foul and the camera just showed, you kind of coach him up on the sideline a little bit. What would you have just liked to see in that situation there?
Look, I was fine. So I didn't even remember what happened, to be quite honest. So much goes on in a game. And then I get a text from Nikhil last night saying, "Hey, I didn't mean to be dismissive after the fifth foul. I apologize," and the whole thing. I clearly didn't even remember what he said. And I just said, "Shit, I don't give a damn about that." I don't. Things are always said in the heat of the game. You just picked up your fifth foul. You're frustrated. Like I get it. I mean, it's not like Nikhil doesn't want to be coached. It's not like he's dismissive of coaching. It's not like he's disrespectful. Dude's playing his heart out. And he was in a frustrating night and he got his fifth foul, and I'm talking to him right away. And, he was still pissed off. I mean, Jesus, that happens in every NBA game. And that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, guys who care are going to get frustrated at times, and, those things pass quickly. So the point is he needs to learn from the situation on the fifth foul. And that was the point I made to him. And I think he got the message. So that's what matters. Nikhil's a great, great, great person who wants to be coached and the whole thing. So he's got no attitude to him. He was just frustrated.
Hey, Stan, this is Will again. Two quick ones from me. First, how's Lonzo feeling after missing the last two games? Was he able to get out there today?
He did not practice today, but he is getting closer. He said he feels a lot better, really working hard on strengthening, the muscles around that knee, which seems to really help. I think he's pretty optimistic about, being able to come back at full strength, and pretty optimistic that it's not in the distant future. I think we're talking more days to a week than we are weeks.
Okay, and something you guys did a little bit more last night was using JJ as a screener for Zion. Just what do you think about the looks you generated on those plays? And do you think that's something you guys may utilize a little bit more, guard screening for Zion to free him up?
We've gradually tried to do more and more of it. I thought we got some good looks early, and then I probably wrote it a little too long, Will, to be honest. Teams will adjust, but I still, am looking for more and more situations that we can put Zion in. And so, we know that he's good in the post. and we know that you can get him as the screener on pick and roll. But we're trying to create more situations for him having the ball on the perimeter and being able to attack, whether he's handling on pick and rolls or getting opportunities to drive the ball or even shoot the ball. And that's going to take some time, not only for him and maybe not even so much for him, but for our team. But we've got to develop some of those things. This guy is one of the most, one of the unique talents that I've seen in the league. And so trying to create a package for him is challenging and yet fun at the same time. Every day, when we came to our staff meeting today, I said, my question on the board was for our staff, are we doing enough for Brandon and Zion, and what do we need to do for them as we build it out? We've got two great young talents. They're playing well. They're working hard. And we've got to build more for them. Now, their side of it is this. I talked to both of them today, and I said, let's look at, some of the great duos in this league: LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Chris Middleton. Some of the great duos in this league. Like, what do they have in common? And, my point was, they're all guys that play both ends of the floor. They're two-way guys. And so my challenge is to create a better offensive framework and spacing for those two guys. Their challenge is to take the responsibility defensively, that they step forward and become better defenders and part of the solution at that end of the floor. So that was my discussion with those two guys today.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Stan.